of absolutely fantastic racing, perfect weather, wonderful people, and I gotta say, my little 1970 Pontiac LeMans did a fantastic job. Better than anybody could ever possibly imagine. I am so incredibly impressed with this car, and Bob did an incredible job with wheeling it. This car is not a race car. As you can see, it's not a race car. Column shifted, 336 rear gears. It's not a race car by any means. No cage, just a lap belt. But it went out and did what it needed to do, and we had an absolute ton of fun doing it. The only thing we did to modify this car, get it ready to go when we got to the track, was put a pair of slicks on it. That's it. Didn't pop the hood to check for oil, didn't check transmission fluid. The plugs that are in this thing have been in it for 5 years since we built the motor. Wires are 5 years old. It's just a no-frills, fantastic machine. And while I have you for a little bit, I want to be able to talk to you about why I think this is exactly what people should have. At least in my opinion. A lot of those guys that show up at the track, they've got some beautiful cars that are fantastic and fun and awesome cars. They go super duper fast. But a lot of times, all they ever really get to do is go to the track and spend a bunch of money to go fast for a really tiny little bit of time. Most of those cars can't be driven on the street. You know, they're 13 to 1. They run on $10 a gallon gasoline or E85, whatever. If they happen to find a place that they can get E85, but I don't know, is the juice worth the squeeze? I can tell you right now, we had an absolutely amazing time in this car this weekend. It was fantastic. This little car, you couldn't have asked for more from it. And I can drive it home. Just put slicks on it, put it on the interstate, hang it out there at speed limit speeds, gets 15 miles to the gallon while running down the road with a quadrijet. What more could you ask for? There have been some interesting conversations I had over the weekend with fellow YouTubers and fans and people that just generally enjoyed watching us get out there and get this thing down the track. And it's really kind of a conversation that needs to be had about, you know, value, money spent versus enjoyment earned, I guess would be a good way to put it. Or smiles per dollar. And especially as the classic car world has gotten more and more and more and more expensive, to be able to buy something like this, you know, most people don't have the ability to spend $15,000 or $20,000 on a motor to put in one of these things. And you can't finance this stuff. I mean, you can put it on a credit card if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. But there's just a ton of money that's involved in going really, really fast in a classic car. And I think a lot of people get caught up in chasing a number, and they want to be a 10.5 car, 11 flag car, a 9-second car, whatever it is. The amount of money you have to spend to get to that point is serious. It's a lot of money, especially if you're a blue-collar person. You know, I'm not a rich man. I'm paying for everything I put into these cars out of the paychecks that I make, and fortunately I'm also making a little bit of money off of YouTube, so there's some income there. But generally speaking, building a car as a blue-collar guy these days is really, really tough. And I guess my big question is, where is the juice worth the squeeze? What makes the most sense financially? Now, I mean, none of it makes sense financially. Let's be honest. If you were doing something smart and financially feasible, you would not be building a race car. But where is it that point where you get optimum fun versus the amount of spend? And I don't know the answer to that. I feel like maybe it's kind of right where this thing runs. Mid-12, high-12 kind of car. It's a street car. It can be driven all over the place. I've put thousands of miles on this thing over Power Tour. If you look behind me, you can see my Power Tour stickers in the window back there. We long hauled this thing in 2022. I've driven it all over the country to go to races and go to events, and it's just a fantastic car. And it can go out and have a great time at a racetrack. I mean, literally, case in point, if you watch the video, we went deep into into the pro circuit at Pontiac Nationals with just a set of slicks. And that's really awesome. It really is. I'm so proud of Bob. I'm so proud of this car. And that is honestly one of the best weekends that I have had at a racetrack in a really, really long time. Because there wasn't really any worrying about all the other stuff. Yeah, we're competing, but we're not really there to be competing, if that makes any sense. We just went, so we wanted to go have a good time, and you know, the initial plan was we wanted to take the 68 Le Mans out with us, and that was going to be the idea, you know, build a 350 HO and get that thing ready to go and take it to Pontiac Nationals. But with life and everything that came up and all of the challenges that car presented, it just wasn't in the cards. So we made the best of it. We got this car ready to go, and you know, we got the front disc brake conversion done. There's going to be a rear disc brake conversion done on this car as well. But we got the fronts done. We got shocks done on it. And a few basic things. I mean, I didn't even change the oil before we went to the track. As far as I know, it's got oil in it. Seems like it's fine. But there just wasn't any drama. There wasn't any stress. It was just go out and run a number and see what it does. And this thing was absolutely dead nuts consistent. Within 2/10 basically, every single pass, the entire weekend long. And we got great weather. We absolutely got gorgeous weather for Pontiac Nationals. You really could not have gotten better weather for a race weekend. Low 80s, no humidity, light breeze, just perfect. I gotta say, like, this was a great event. So listen, if you haven't seen that video, I put all the event stuff on the Lukewarm Automotive page because this is what I do for a living. So go over there and give that a watch. I promise you, you will enjoy day one and day two. Absolutely fantastic time, like fantastic time. To everybody that came up and talked to me this weekend, that said hi and that cheered us on through the different rounds of racing and appreciated the car and what we did with this thing. Thank you so much. It's all you guys that watch this stuff and that cheer us on and that encourage us to do this stupid stuff that really make this possible. Because if it wasn't for you guys watching it and helping pay the bills with your views, you know, this probably wouldn't be something I could really financially afford to do, to be honest. And it means the world to me. It means the world to Bob, everybody that came up to us. You know, we're not celebrities by any means. We're just normal Joes, blue-collar workers that like to go out and have fun, do the old-school racing stuff. And it's a great community of people that we get into. This is my 6th or 7th year of doing Pontiac Nationals, and this is the biggest one we had ever at Norwalk. The whole place was covered. We had an incredible time, and thank you all who made this weekend possible. Thank you all so much. I love you. I hope you had a great weekend. There's more to come on this car. There's a bunch more to come on the 68. This is not by any means the end of this story. There's all kinds of Pontiac content to come. I'm in the car for an hour and a half, and I just want to say thank you guys. It's been an incredible weekend, and I appreciate everyone who's chipped in, who's encouraged us, and who's helped make this weekend what it really was. So thank you all very much. I love you very much. I look forward to the next adventure. There's some more crazy stuff ahead of me on the very near horizon. I don't want to talk about it just yet, but I think you're going to enjoy it. There's more racing, but not drag racing. The next racing is going to involve a little bit more, a little bit longer driving than 13 seconds at a time. So stay tuned for that. It's coming soon. Thanks, guys. I love you. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Yes, I do have my cooler tank riding passenger. This could be a very awkward conversation if I get pulled over. Son, you know why I pulled you over? Yeah. Sorry. Ran out of room.